CISPA, it's one of those words you often come across online, but it's a difficult thing to really understand. So what is CISPA? It stands for the Cyber Security and Protection Act. It's a proposed law in the United States which would allow for the sharing of cyber threat data between the United States government, private companies, and private security companies. Oh, and those entities all get to share that data amongst themselves. On April the 18th, it passed in the US House of Representatives with 288 for and 127 against. Its supporters say it will help to protect America from cyber threats, but critics have said it is vague and intrudes severely on citizens' privacy. Critics have said it means that security companies, at the instruction of private companies, can gather your data and share it with those private companies if it is deemed a threat. And they get to share that data amongst themselves, other private companies, and the federal government. Critics have said it means that information sharing can go on without you finding out, and should you find out and become unhappy about it, you can't take the parties involved to court if they were acting in good faith. So what does that actually mean for you? Well, critics say that CISPA will mean your internet data, perhaps data that you deem very private, could be turned over to a federal agency or private company without you ever finding out. Things like the content of your Gmail or your Facebook data, or perhaps your internet browsing history, or even files and pictures you've downloaded. Instead of cyber threat information, it could be your private data at the center of this information sharing.
If someone wants access to our private home or to our mail, we would say, well, go get a warrant, right? CISPA basically says, not necessary. Your digital privacy is irrelevant.
The bill has been introduced once before, but it failed after being rejected by the US Senate. But just 3 days after the Boston bomb attack, the bill was given another opening, and this time it got through the House of Representatives. At the time, Mike McCall, a Republican from Texas, compared the Boston attacks to the cyber threat the nation faces, saying, in the case of Boston, there were real bombs. In this case, they are digital bombs, and these digital bombs are on their way. No one knows what a digital bomb might look like, but to McCall, the threat is real. Getting CISPA passed to law has required money, lots of it. A Sunlight Foundation report recently revealed that those groups in support of CISPA had spent $605 million lobbying to get the bill passed. That's about 140 times as much as the people on the other side of the debate who just spent $4.3 million. Michael Rogers, the man championing CISPA, has dismissed critics of CISPA as teenagers in their basements. But those teenagers, whoever they are, amassed the 100,000 signatures required to elicit a formal response from the White House last month. And separate to that official petition, activists, presumably teenagers in their basements, submitted more than 300,000 online signatures to the House Intelligence Committee. We instinctively feel like the data we store in the cloud is ours. Things like our email, our social networks, our browsing history. But CISPA has the ability to completely change that, and control over information is power, and our information has never been more publicly available than it is today. So as we march into the future, we have some very serious questions to answer about who controls access to that data. Click subscribe, check out some of the other stuff we've done over there, and let us know your thoughts about CISPA in a comment. We'll see you again next time.